Every 3 months, we get to look inside some super investors' portfolio, what they've been buying, what they've been selling, their strategy. It's not really like they add any commentary to these types of things, but we can maybe make our own assumption, own conclusion why they sold a stock they bought last quarter, why they increased their position so much, why they suddenly went all into Chinese companies, why they went into Latin American companies, etc., etc. It's always interesting, especially as a retail investor, it's interesting to see what these types of people are doing because they have a huge amount of money. And so seeing if we're maybe seeing the same thing, the same trends happening right now, or something completely different. Of course, we've done this in the past. This is going to be a 2-part series. In this video, I want to start off with Michael Burry, the yin to Cathie Wood's yang, I would say. Now, before continuing, if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, we really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So, Michael Burry has 16 stocks in his portfolio, a portfolio value of just $103.4 million. I'm saying just because, as you will see with the other portfolios, it's really a tiny one. The only reason he gets so much attention is because of, well, The Big Short. Let's be honest. A broken clock is right twice a day. I want to first go over the activity. So what has he been buying? What has he been selling? Etc, etc. So the biggest ad for the quarter is Real. Now, if you are into buying and selling luxury goods, clothing, stuff like that, you probably know what that is. Funny enough, this stock is up around 150% or so year to date. Of course, he added that in Q1, so we don't really know exactly how much he has gained from that. But Real is the biggest addition to the portfolio here. JD, he added 80%, Square, Block added 80% as well. And then no surprises here. He is very interested in Chinese companies right now. Definitely at these valuations, I can understand. So he added another 66% to Alibaba. He opened a completely new position here in Baidu as well. Then all the others you've got here, Vital Energy, HCA, Healthcare, Citigroup, Advanced Auto Parts, very interesting company. And then he sold basically a lot of companies that he bought the quarter before. So most of the big tech companies here completely sold out of Oracle, CVS, Alphabet, Amazon, MGM, Booking Holdings, Warner Brothers, Toast, Big Lots, and all the rest as well. He completely sold out of those positions. And so right now, if you look at his portfolio, the number one position is JD, 9.53% of the portfolio. Number two, Alibaba, 8.74% of the portfolio. So he's definitely quite bullish on those Chinese companies right now. After that, you've got HCA Healthcare, Citigroup, Sprott Physical Gold Trust, Square, Block, since he added another 80% there. That's now 7.36% of the portfolio. And Baidu, which is the new position here, is only at 4% of the portfolio. Another new position is First Solar at 4.89% of the portfolio. And even with the huge addition here of 115% to Real, just sits at 5.34% of the portfolio. Now, as we've seen, it can be that next quarter, some of these positions will be completely sold off. Now, I do want to add that I can understand why he focuses now on these types of companies, especially JD and Alibaba being the top two of the portfolio, completely sold off the big tech companies, US stocks, which are close to their all-time highs. Basically, risk reward, maybe for him, it doesn't make sense anymore. And so he shifted, let's say, strategies, which, okay, I can understand. We've talked about Alibaba not so long ago. There is value if, of course, you know the risk attached to it, which is the China risk. Up next is going to be quite a quick one. It's Monish Pabrai. Only 4 stocks in the portfolio with a portfolio value of $215.7 million. The activity here, pretty simple. He added 2.55% to Alpha Metallurgical Resources. He reduced Consol Energy by 0.81%. Reduced Warrior Met Coal by 25.24%, which is a position he added last quarter, completely new position from last quarter. And last quarter, he added 200% to Arch Resources. In Q1, he reduced that position by 40.29%. And as you can see, the majority of his portfolio, 62.08%, is in Alpha Metallurgical Resources, 14.21% is in Consol Energy, 13.25% in Warrior Met Coal, and 10.46% in Arch Resources. Of course, none of the fancy schmancy names that we all know. He's definitely more in the materials, energy, and a bit of the financial side. Up next, we've got Pat Dorsey. We're going a bit higher with regards to the portfolio value here of $860 million. 10 stocks in the portfolio of Dorsey Asset Management. If we go and look at the activity here, we only have one new position in the portfolio, and that's AutoZone, 8.53% change in the portfolio. Did add 37.86% to Semrush Holdings, but then he did reduce, here as well you can see some big tech companies, he reduced 1.32% of the following stocks: Alphabet, Smartsheet, PayPal. Oh, why did you do this? Why? Please, don't do this. Danaher, Upwork, Wix by 1.33%, not 32%. 13.95% reduction of Herc Holdings, and 25.61% reduction in Meta Platforms. Now, Meta Platform, he was also reducing already in Q4 by 17.7%. But if we look at his portfolio, Meta is still the number one holding of the portfolio at 16.21%. Alphabet still the number two at 14, close to 15%. Wix number three at 12%. Smartsheet 11.24%. And PayPal 9.44%. So, okay, quite an interesting move here with this small reduction of 1.32%, some of these positions. I would love to know why the reduction. Is it just because they added a new position in AutoZone, so they wanted to reduce that to put what's left into that new position and to add to Semrush? Maybe. I mean, yes, Alphabet did go up. Yes, Meta did go up. I believe Wix did go up as well, and PayPal, surprisingly as well, is up a little bit, but not by much. But it's interesting to see that that these types of portfolio manager, asset manager, do reduce their position by just 1.32% with those types of companies here. Interesting move, definitely. And I mean, it's the second quarter in a row where we see a Meta Platform reduction by quite a lot. So yeah, I would love to have more comments on that, because I do still think that Meta is one of the best positioned companies right now. Up next, and we're going even higher right now with Howard Marks, Oak Tree Capital Management, 57 stocks in the portfolio here, portfolio value of $5.6 billion. Now, the activity here, quite a lot of activity, as you can clearly see, sold a lot of companies, quite a lot of companies. Most of them I have no idea what they do, but if you want to look at them, just pause the screen right now. Did sell quite a lot of companies, very, very tiny positions in his portfolio. Then he did reduce some other companies here, more specifically, Hims & Hers reduction by 36.67%, but of course, a tiny fraction of the overall portfolio. Then he added quite a lot of new positions, around 12, 13 positions or so to the portfolio. We've got here another couple of Chinese companies, Baidu, Li Auto, Yum China. I believe there's one other Chinese company there. So you're seeing that team of super investors investing in Chinese companies, because as you can clearly see here in the section of they added to their existing position. So they added to Alibaba, they added to JD as well. He's a big fan here of Brazilian companies, Argentinian companies, should I say as well. So Vale, Azul, Telecom Argentina, Petróleo Brasileiro, Itaú. I mean, we've talked about these companies the last time we touched on that, and it seems that he's quite bullish on that region. So yeah, that's quite interesting, to be honest. Then if we look at the biggest positions in his portfolio, so 30.43% of the portfolio is in Torm PLC, which is a shipping company in Denmark. Then 10.93% is in, I thought this was Cheesecake Energy, but it's Chesapeake Energy. And all the rest is 7.72% Garrett Motion. If we scroll down, if you want to reach those, let's say, more familiar names, we've got Vale here at 2.47% of the portfolio. If you scroll down even more, I mean, until we reach JD, for example, JD is only 1% of the portfolio, Baidu only 0.78% of the portfolio, and Alibaba just 0.16% of the portfolio. So he's very concentrated here, as he says, in industrials, energy, financials, consumer goods. So that's interesting. Most of the moves here are towards the smaller position of the portfolio. The larger position of the portfolio haven't really moved that much, if at all. Up next, we go to Akre Capital Management from Chuck Akre, 20 stocks in the portfolio, a portfolio value of just over $12 billion. And here we can see he only added, 0.08% to CoStar Group. He did open a new position in Uber Technologies and a new position in CCC Intelligent Solutions Holdings. All the rest were tiny reductions, so Berkshire Hathaway reduced by 0.42%, not by much, Brookfield Corp 0.53%, CarMax 0.91%, then the bigger, let's say, reduction here, completely sold out, close to completely sold out, of Brookfield Asset Management by 98.18%, Dollar Tree reduction by close to 90%, so yeah, quite interesting moves here. He keeps on reducing his stake in Visa as well. So this quarter reduction by 6.75%. Last quarter, if we can see here, reduction of close to 27%. Same with MasterCard. Last quarter reduction of 13.48%. And this quarter, Q1 was 8.92%. And so if we look at the overall portfolio, we can again see the same thing. Although it's a reduction of those types of companies, MasterCard still the number one position of the portfolio at 18.37%, Moody's at 14.48%, we also reduced 6.78% of that position, KKR & Co, number 3 position, 12.38%, American Tower Corp, reduction of close to 9%, last quarter I do believe he added a tiny bit to that position, but overall top 5, top 6 positions here have not really moved much. And so if you look at the sector, financials is close to 40% of the portfolio, services close to 26%, then we've got 12.27% in technology. Last one here is one you know very, very well, and that's Terry Smith from Fundsmith, 40 stocks in the portfolio, a portfolio value of over $25.5 billion. And here as well, we've got quite a lot of activity, as you can see, quite a lot of reductions in positions. So let's first look at the green ones. The biggest addition here is for Paycom Software. It's been a while since I covered this company, so maybe I'll do an update video on that. Apple over 19% added, Fortinet 11.5%, MasterCard 1.21%, same with McDonald's, same with Zooties, which we covered a couple of days ago as well, and opened 2 new positions, one in Choice Hotels International and one in Texas Instruments. All the rest were reductions, but really tiny, tiny reductions. I mean, Alphabet and Meta, a reduction of 0.5% or so. It's not really going to move the needle that much for him. Then we've got a bigger one, 4.1% reduction in Microsoft, completely sold out of IPG Photonics Corp and Johnson & Johnson. Reduced 17% from MSCI, the financial company. This is not SMCI. Reduced 11.83% from PepsiCo. And so if we go back and look at his holdings, the overall portfolio, number 1, still Microsoft, 12.54%. Meta, number 2 at 9.44%. Then you got Stryker Corp at number 3, Visa at number 4, IDEX Laboratories at number 5. And so if we look at the split in sectors in that portfolio, so healthcare is 21.81%, consumer staples 21.65%, information technology 19.75%, technology at 17.88%, and services 7.49% to complete, let's say, the top 5, top 6. Although information technology and technology to me could have been merged into one sector, but okay, I don't make the rules, I just take one bite. So overall, that will be it. Of course, do let me know down in the comment section below which type of super investors surprised you the most with regards to the buy, the reduction, with regards to their moves basically. Let me know down in the comment section below and stay tuned for part 2. That will be it for this video. If you enjoyed this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.